Today on Cravings Food Adventures, we're going to be making a Korean-style sushi called Kimbap. Now, I'm not familiar with the Kimbap, so I'm really excited to learn how to make this. Chef Sang Kim here is an acclaimed chef, and he's going to show us how easy this is. Sang Kim is an acclaimed and famous chef. He's behind some of the most popular and modern Japanese restaurants in Toronto. He runs Canada's most popular sushi making class called Sushi Making for the Soul. The details for this and his exhaustive bio are in the description. I met Chef Sang Kim recently at a workshop that I took to make sushi. I took my BFF for her birthday there, and we had such an amazing time. We learned how to make a bunch of different sushi recipes. So if you're in Toronto, you really should check them out. Chef, thank you so much for having me here in this beautiful restaurant.
Thank you. So kimbap is different from sushi in a couple of very important ways. The Japanese like to use a dry roasted nori plain. What they do with the rice is they add rice vinegar, dashi, all of that. So it's got almost a sour kind of quality. Now the two of them use the same kind of rice. It's a short grain, sticky Japanica grain, okay, which is porous, right? It's not hard and dense like you get in basmati or jasmine or brown, right? So that porousness allows you, when you're seasoning it, whether it's with vinegar, rice vinegar in Japanese, or whether in Korean kimbap, you're seasoning it with sesame oil. When the rice is hot, its pores are still open, and so therefore, when you put any liquid in it, it sucks it right in.
Right.
Okay, and that's why you're getting that full through the grain quality. Now, with Korean kimbap, what's critical to understand is that number one, you're using first of all a full sheet. And in Japanese cuisine, in Japanese sushi, you use full sheets to make fudomaki. Korean kimbap, besides the seasoning in the rice, you're also actually seasoning the actual nori sheet itself, which the Japanese doesn't do. The fudomaki, or the kimbap style, is not like the traditional Japanese single rolls, where they're all bite-sized, right? With Korean kimbap and Japanese fudomaki, because you're using a full sheet, you're usually taking 3-4 bites out of it, which means that you're putting a lot more ingredients in the middle. Now, the other thing that's different between Japanese-style fudomaki and Korean-style kimbap, besides the seasoning of the rice and the seaweed sheet, in Korean it's called kim, is the ingredients. So the Japanese, of course, when you think about sushi, you think about raw fish and things like that. With Koreans, it's almost primarily vegetarian. Now there's dairy products, so like some form of an omelet. Like in my case, what I did is I made an omelet with red and green peppers in it, but it can just be plain. Koreans love pickled burdock, right? Which is a kind of almost carrot-like, bitter, right? Really good for you. And then they like using pickled radish, which is the yellow one, cucumber. But they also, the main protein ingredient is fish cakes. Okay, so they have fresh pressed fish cake. So pickled products, something like an egg, fish cakes, and a fresh vegetable. The difference between Japanese nori, as I explained, and Korean nori when you're making kimbap, is that Koreans like to season their nori. The Japanese like to keep it just plain, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a good sesame oil like this, and I'm just going to brush it lightly on the inside. We're going to brush it on both the inside and the outside, because Koreans just love sesame oil. Okay. Now you could do this with olive oil. You could whatever oils that you like, but sesame oil gives it that kind of nutty pungency that people love.
Sesame oil.
Right.
It's the best.
And then because I didn't put a lot of salt in the actual rice, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on it. All right, like so. Okay. And then you're getting into the rice. Again, like the Japanese, what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to put rice in, but allow spaces so that the rice breathes and expresses itself best. Okay. And now you're dealing with a full sheet, right? So it's quite a bit of rice that you're putting down. Now just scattering the rice like so, making sure you're not putting too much, because with Korean rice, with kimbap and the full sheet, you're going to be putting a whole bunch of other ingredients, beautiful ingredients in there, right? So let's just move this around like so. All right. Okay, so once we've got the rice pretty much down, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some, let's start off with some pickled radish, okay? This is ubiquitous in Korean, kimbap, in Korean cuisine. Koreans love pickled and fermented products, right? We put the burdock, gives it an astringency, a little bit of bitterness, lot of crazy vitamins in there for you. I'm gonna put some of my omelet I made today, like so. Okay. Fish cake, right? Very, very important. Let's put some cucumber.
Wow, it's so colorful too.
It is. It's very colorful. And then again, just as much as possible, just bring it right down to the bottom edge of your mat, like that, right? And you're gonna roll it, right? Like so. I didn't put too much ingredients in it, but you want to just keep going, like so. In Korea, this is the picnic dish. Whenever you're going on a picnic, right? Parents always make this, and then they'll wrap it in aluminum foil, so it keeps it a little bit warm. And then again, what do we like to do? We like to put a little bit of glisten on it, right? Some sesame oil. So we love sesame oil. So Koreans, once they're done their kimbap, the presentational part of it is not really important at all, right? Like I said, because it's a picnic food, they would literally unwrap it from the aluminum foil and then eat it. So, but what I'm doing now is, as I'm plating it, I'm also using a mustard, because I love kimbap with mustard. The Japanese tradition is, of course, to use wasabi, right? But the Koreans, they're not all that into wasabi, because it's fairly one-dimensional. But with this Korean-style mustard, you get that peppery quality. You get a little bit of nuttiness. There's a lot of complexity, and so I like putting a little bit of this mustard on it. This one here, it's really nice. And then just lightly dipping it in as you eat it.
I not only had a fabulous time today with Chef Sang Kim, but I also learned to make kimbap. This is a Korean style sushi that I've never had before, so I'm really excited to try it. Thank you so much for showing me how to make this. And don't forget, make sure that you're subscribed to Cravings Food Adventures. I upload new videos every week, so make sure that you're subscribed so you're the first to see it. And make sure to follow me on all of my social channels on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and even Snapchat. And make sure to check out the California sushi roll, also known as shotgun sushi. Until we see you next time, do take care. Bye.